after that early wicket. Joe Root and Jason Roy is batting brilliantly, and when the captain came in, Morgan, he took the game almost away from South Africa. I thought initially, it was a clever plan to bowl Imran that first over. That they got what they wanted to. That was the early wicket, but then England recovered really well. And I thought that the South African bowlers bowled a little bit short that first 10, 15 overs, maybe 20 overs. And after that when they changed their tactics to taking a lot of pace off, it became more difficult for the English batsmen to find their rhythms again. So I think they dragged them back superbly. 300 in my eyes is probably par there. I know Darren said the last few years 290, so 300 is probably par. So 10 runs more, I think South Africa will be very happy.
All right, we'll find out how good the score is in 3 hours from now. But after the last few months of 2020 cricket, Darren, it's 50-over cricket. While it seems to be cricket's most threatened, endangered child, it's nice to see comebacks. A wicket of the first ball, stitch a partnership together. Then 2 wickets in quick time. Root and Jason Roy again stitch a partnership. There's a charm to the 50-over game.
Of course, and I think this South African bowling unit is a formidable bowling unit, and we must give credit to the quality of bowlers in this South African team. Again, pace being the trump card for Faf du Plessis. Imran Tahir being used wisely. I just felt that instead of using an Aiden Markram and a JP Duminy around the 27th over, would have been an opportunity for Tahir probably to make his impact in that partnership between Stokes and the captain. But again, Stokes getting a promotion, I felt, just because they think they were threatened a bit and would be threatened a bit with Tahir spinning the ball into the left-handers. That's why he was probably ahead of Josh Butler in this batting lineup.
Yeah, and it served Ben Stokes without doubt. And even though Imran Tahir bowled a little bit in that middle spell, Faf du Plessis was tempted to go to both Markram and Duminy, like Darren Ganga points out. But they don't quite have the skill that Graham Swan does JP Duminy or Aiden Markram. So let's go to London now, where Alexis Nunes and Graham Swan are waiting patiently. And let's find out what they made of it. Alexis, take it away.
Thanks so much, Ronak. So we are happy bunnies, at least I am, because the sun is still out. But Swanee doesn't seem to be too happy with the 311 on the board.
Well, not particularly. I think 311 is a great score in any one-day game. But I think this wicket, this outfield, and the fact that so many England players got 50s up and run a ball, but then no one actually went on. No one went on and improved the scoring rate. I know Stokes got 89, but he never had that crash-bang wallop that you need to get your score up to 350. 200 for 3 from 34, 35 overs. That is the ideal platform to really go. And I thought Morgan and Stokes at that point would see England to 350. So, yeah, I agree 311 is always a decent tone, always hard to chase down. However, in my opinion, it's a little below par. It should have been 340, 350.
Is that then credit to the South African bowlers?
Yeah, I think they bowled well. I think it was brilliant to open the bowling with Tahir, by the way, to get Johnny Bairstow. It's exactly what I would do against Roy and Bairstow. Take the pace off the ball, put a cat amongst the pigeons. Johnny Bairstow, don't underestimate, how big a dismissal that is first game, because Johnny's a real thinker, a real warrior. That could plague him for the next couple of games. He's not someone who'd shrug that off easily, so he'll be smarting now for 50 overs. If he doesn't go well in the field, that may really bug him and affect his World Cup. So overall, 311, I'm not overly happy with it, but I'm not unhappy either, if that makes any sense.
That does kind of make sense. Ronak, it makes sense too, right?
No, Swanee never makes sense to me. What I would want to ask him is where perhaps he felt this innings sort of lost that chance to get to that 340, 350. Was it the Josh Butler wicket? And then, Swanee, if you could also help me with what you made of Ben Stokes being promoted ahead of him at the point that South Africa picked up those 2 quick wickets.
Yeah, I think it definitely, Josh Butler getting out when he did, denied England that power hitting that they really rely on Josh for. They haven't really got anyone else down the order who can tee off, who can really hit the 4s and 6s. So as soon as Josh got out, 350 was out of the question. For me, the innings really lost way when Owen Morgan got out there. I thought Owen was really batting well, was hitting it cleanly and crisply. He could have picked up the rate with Josh. They could have got 350 then. So possibly, at the moment Owen Morgan got out was when they lost their way, I think.
All right. let's focus on that period then. Imran Tahir again getting the wicket at that point, Karthik, and Albi said just before we went off air in the pre-show that he wants to use Tahir as a strike bowler. We saw that with the new ball. Tahir again in the middle. Take me through the use of the spinner for you and how that dented England's innings at a number of points.
Yeah, and that's exactly what you want. You want your primary bowlers, the guys who've got that wicket-taking ability, the ability to be penetrative and incisive during this period to actually bowl and make use of that those overs. Because I think I'll sound like a pre-recorded information that from the railway station that it's the middle overs. It's the middle overs where the games can be won and lost. That's where this game needs to be made.
If only our railway station sounded as eloquent.
Sorry?
If only our railway station sounded as eloquent.
That sounded as me. Nah, they won't want to. But look, you want to. That's why you need to pick those wicket-taking bowlers. That's why you need to use them in the middle overs and set those kind of fields. It's not just giving it to a wicket-taking bowler, but the kind of fields which you set, which make the batsman think, which make the batsman wonder, what am I going to do? And also make the bowler think that you are a wicket-taking bowler, you need to do it right now, and I'm so happy that they used him that way. For me, Johnny Bairstow was a brilliant wicket, but I thought that he was brought on to pick Jason Roy, who struggles against leg spin, but Jason Roy did bat well today. Imran Tahir is always going to be a wicket-taking bowler.
Bairstow did get out to leg spin quite a few times in the IPL as well. I'm not sure how much of that is carrying forward, but as you look at how England built their innings and promoted it, and we're going to see, again, a recovery after the wicket in the first over. They still went at 6 and over, 2 for 50 after that, when those quick wickets of Joe Root and Jason Roy fell. They rebuilt with Ben Stokes and Owen Morgan, the partnership of 106 between them two. Is it those last 10 that you could look at just as Josh Buttler gets out? 76 of the last 10 happens instead of maybe 95 or maybe more, Darren.
Yeah, that's an area of the game that England would think that they fell short in. They would have really wanted their captain to be there and maybe a Josh Buttler as well. That didn't happen at all. I also think you need to give credit to the partnerships, the one with Joe Root and Jason Roy at the top of the innings, getting the team into a good state, into a good platform to launch. And I said it before, Imran Tahir was possibly used a little too late in the middle overs. Yeah. I would have expected him to be used a little bit earlier, try to break that partnership between Stokes and Owen Morgan. But he went for the part-time bowlers, Faf du Plessis, and allowed them to get set and get them over the line to 311.
So where's the world come to, Darren? We are getting nearly 80 runs in the 10 overs, and we are not happy with it. 60 balls,
that's
80
England's
runs.
fault.
In the
That's
world
England's
of
fault,
T20, we won possibly 120 by the looks of it in the last 10.
Yeah, that's to some degree England's fault, because they made this happen by getting 360, 370 for fun. But they did manage to get wickets at the end too, did South Africa's bowlers. Albi, quick word from you on South Africa at the death. Lungi Ngidi, first 6 overs for 45, South Africa's most expensive bowler, then comes back at the death, takes those wickets of Owen Morgan, which Graham Swan says was perhaps the key turning point with England not getting more than the amount they did. Just tell me, Albi, Lungi Ngidi bowling at the death, started bowling a lot of cutters at that point. What did you make of the pitch at that point, Albi, if you can hear me? I'm just trying to reconnect with Albi, but I'll come back to that. Let's focus on the Ben Stokes innings itself, though, and just show you where he got his runs, did Ben Stokes. Promoted up the order, got 89 of 79. What did you make of the decision itself and the innings that Stokes played? Did he just stop himself from going big because of the wickets that fell around that?
Well, I don't think he's been in the best of form with the bat. We saw that in the recent IPL. He struggled to score runs. It was an opportunity for him to bat alongside his captain. He had time as well after that good partnership between Root and Roy. So it allowed him to get set, and boy did he get set. He played the supporting role to Owen Morgan, and then he got into stride. It would have been nice for him to be there to the end. He wasn't quite there at the end, but he would be pleased with his effort with the bat.
And would we be seeing more of leg spin to the likes of Johnny Bairstow? Would we see more captains think, you know what, why don't we try 1 or 2 overs of leg spin if we're playing England?
It has just left the cat, let the cat out the bag, so to speak. I think all the opposition teams in this World Cup will be thinking about that approach we saw from Faf du Plessis. The other thing I want to say is this surface didn't really give a lot of assistance to the spinners. We hardly saw the ball rip and turn, even in terms of lateral movement from the seamers. Very little. So it's a good batting surface. I felt that in itself amplified the effort of the South African bowlers, the manner in which they went about doing things, and they would be quite pleased with 311.
Yeah, that having been said, Karthik, the wickets that Ngidi picked up in his third spell, get lots of slow balls, got Josh Butler that way, Moeen Ali that way. What did it tell you about the pitch? And what indication does it give England's bowlers?
Yeah, I said this when we spoke about the first part of it, when I said that yes, 311, England might not be happy, but there's still parts of the wicket and parts of the surface. If you're constantly exploring it, it's not easy scoring. There were a few deliveries which actually sat on the batsmen, the slower ones, where they were trying or shaping to play a shot, and it just stopped on them. And so there are areas of the pitch which need to be constantly hit. And there are certain surfaces like that, and I think this is one surface. Yes, it is a belter. Oval has always been a belter. And Swanee mentioned it's a quick outfield because it's a huge square. So if you just have to miss the fielder and it finds the boundary. Having said that, with the kind of bowling England has, they would have actually seen where are the areas where scoring has not been easy, which parts of the pitch or the surface have, when you hit them, scoring has not been easy, and I think that is where you constantly need to bowl.
The other thing is the South Africans just don't drop anything, Darren.
Yeah, they're fielding excellent. There wasn't one opportunity Eden Markram had the chance to run out Ben Stokes.
Sure.
That might have impacted on the total that they got eventually, but apart from that, they were excellent. They're fielding, they're catching. That's a component of the game that will be crucial in this World Cup and for success.
DG, I thought the catching was brilliant, but having seen the South African teams of the past, I thought that they were a bit sluggish on the field. To be very honest, the number of times there were twos hit straight to the fielder, I felt that they were slightly sluggish. In the air, yes, they caught everything.
I mean, they didn't miss David Miller by having someone like Eden Markram who can do pretty much the same job patrolling the boundary. Time for a very short break on ESPN Cricinfo Matchday UK 2019. We will be back and look to build up to that second innings. Will England take their chances? Can they make 311 look more? We'll find out on the other side. Stay with us.
ESPN Cricinfo. Stories, scores, videos, analysis. Download the app now.
In the 2007 Cricket World Cup, Ed Joyce represented the England cricket team, while Ian Morgan stepped out for Ireland. And why exactly is this intriguing? Well, you see, in the following World Cup of 2011, it was Joyce who turned up for Ireland, while Morgan played for England.
Good to have you on ESPN Cricinfo Matchday UK 2019. We've had a little break. The players have had a little break. Now the world is set to see the most hyped up player in World Cup history. For a man who's played 3 internationals, never has the World Cup been anticipating Jofra Archer more than it is now. And let's find out what perhaps one of the more astute and critical voices in the fast bowling department, certainly, if not in the game, Michael Holding, makes of Jofra Archer and whether he can indeed live up to all the expectations.
All right, Mikey, so a lot of hype surrounding Jofra Archer. What do you make of what you've heard from him?
Yeah, well, so many people are talking about Jofra Archer. I haven't seen a lot of him, but all the people that I respect, that I think know a little bit about this game, have been talking and praising him highly. He has pace, which everyone concedes. He has control, which is very important if you're going to be bowling fast. No point in spraying it all over the place. So he could create a few problems for batsmen. I expect the pitches, Alexia, are going to be flat, yes. But if you have pace, you can get rid of the factor of the pitch, and he has that pace.
And with that pace and with what you've heard from him so far, where do you see him fitting into this England attack and just the England squad overall?
To be honest, people are going to say he's too inexperienced, but I would like to see him get a new ball. Give him that new ball. Let him run in with that pace. That pace can create problems, can get his early wickets. And early wickets are going to be very important throughout this tournament. Everyone knows, as I've said, the pitches are going to be flat. So there's no point talking about restricting opposition. You've got to bowl them out.
That's two of the most soothing voices from Jamaica in cricket, Alexis Nunes and Michael Holding. And the reason Mikey would not have seen much of Jofra Archer, Darren, is because he doesn't watch 2020. He doesn't care about the IPL. He doesn't call it cricket.
He lives in England as well. So Jofra Archer now being a resident of England and qualifying to play.
Yeah, we know very well where Mikey stands on 2020 cricket. There was a game that India played in South Africa that Mikey was doing commentary for, which was rain affected. And it ended up being, I think, a 23 or 24 over game. And Mikey said, thank God they added the 3 or 4 overs because I don't do 2020. Anyway, let's talk about Jofra Archer. The stage is set. Is this hype and is everything that's been said about Jofra Archer, is he now ready for it, or is it too much for a 24-year-old for you?
No, I think he's shown that he has got a good head on his shoulders. Yeah. He's only played 3 one-day international matches, only 3 wickets, very different to the success that he's enjoyed in T20 cricket. But I think the principles remain the same in terms of his bowling skill sets and in terms of how his role is in this England team. He's got to take wickets, and that is the role he's played for most of the teams that he's played with before. So I expect that he will do well. This is a surface that is not really going to assist bowlers too much, as we've seen in that first innings. So his variations will come into play, and he's got to be smart about what he does and not only look for that fast option, he's got to bring his variety to the fore.
All right, let's have a quick word on South Africa's batting before we wrap things up. Hashim Amla, all those questions, but showed his class in the warm-ups. What sort of role do you see him playing? And Quinton de Kock just does what he does?
You know what Hashim does. Hashim bats and bats and bats. And the most important thing with Hashim is that it's not as if that he cannot go through the gears. We have seen him do that quite often. And once he gets set, he'll make sure that he's there till the end. That's what you'll get with Hashim Amla. And at the end of the day, every batsman does go through that dip in form, and questions are always asked about him, whether his place in the squad or side is warranted. But somebody like Hashim, you know that he's going to be there, he's going to be rock solid, and he loves the oval. The last time I saw him, he got a double 100 here against England, and Swanee was bowling, and they kept bowling and bowling and bowling. So he does love the place. So hopefully, against the old team, England, of course, he finds that form yet again.
And he loves England. He loves England. He's like Murli Karthik. He just loves England, as Hashim Amla. Looking at his numbers, not just in England, but also in World Cup cricket, in ICC events, that's what you've got for him. Just looking 2018-19, that's the problem of late, the form questions and what. But we will come back to some other numbers for Hashim Amla. Fact is, class player, and he has been bankable before. There is a reason that South Africa have gone with him ahead of some others. Very quickly, Darren, is this score looking like the kind of score that England can defend? Yeah,
this will be a close game in my estimation. When you look at the teams and the conditions that we're seeing here, it's good for batting, and this South African team is no walkover team in terms of their batting strength.
England or South Africa for you, Karthik?
I would back England.
All right, let's find out if England can get their first points on the board. We'll be back with the extensive analysis with Karthik, Ganga and the rest of the boys on ESPN Cricinfo Matchday UK 2019.